Metropolitan Transit Commission Board is called to order. Let the record reflect that everyone is here with the exception of St. Cloud City Council member John Lipper, who is not with us here today. Additions or changes to the agenda, item number 3.
No changes.
No? Okay. Approval? So move the agenda? So Second?
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so then we have the item 5 through 8, the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I want to just talk about that North Star link and recognize that I see we put on more hours and say that I'm grateful that we have more hours, but I see the ridership is almost down equal to the hours, but that we didn't have any snow this winter. And I think that's why don't you think that's why the ridership is not, I mean, because it's not off by much, right? But anyway, I just wanted to thank you for I wanted to say thanks for putting more hours on the North Star link.
Okay.
And that I think that, I hope that because ridership went down a little when our service hours went up, that we don't say, oh, well, let's reduce our service hours, because I think we had a unique winter where people didn't rely as much on the trains and stuff. That's all I had to add. I'll move to approve that, but I'll move to approve consent agenda 5 through 8.
Moved and seconded, are ready.
Oh, it has? I'm
So,
sorry.
One more moving.
I'm telling you, I haven't slept.
One more person moving.
No, we did. We did.
I'll third that. I'm thirding it for today, so there you have it.
All those in favor,
Aye.
say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
The motion prevails. Old business, item number 9, update on the Rider Advisory
Dan's
Committee
serious.
meeting.
Oh, good afternoon. We held our meeting today and we welcomed our new fixed route rider advocate. Janice Sims has replaced one of our, do you know Janice?
Only because she always likes everything Annie. She shares everything North Star. So because she's in my feed.
Okay.
I don't know her.
All right, well, she's an avid fixed route rider, utilizes fixed route for everything.
Okay.
Tom shared updates on the long range plan for our service, and they were all very excited about some of the changes and the one-seat rides and just more of the ease. Tom also went through the change that he saw with the SCSU students living more dispersed throughout the communities versus the concentrated areas down by SCSU, and the committee really appreciated the time that went into that to make some of a determination that our routes needed to be changed and updated. We were going to discuss the travel training community outreach program, but we start yakking and the time escapes us. So other than that, they're all good, I guess.
I have a question. Is Hazel on that? Because she hasn't been here since she was late that day, and I meant to ask if I've been worried about her the last couple of months. Does everyone know she's okay?
Yeah, she's okay. Could we sit on the Transportation Infrastructure Advisory Board? And we actually met last month, actually, Dave. Yeah, Dave and I. Yeah.
So you've seen Hazel?
You've seen her. Yeah,
Okay,
she's
thank
riding
you.
the bus.
I've been like wondering it. I meant to ask, and then I meant to ask, and then I meant to ask again before we started. So thanks.
You know where all your residents are, Rick. How's she doing? I know everything.
It's Wade Park.
She's lost there, and they don't know where to find her. No way finding.
The first Wednesday of every month, she comes to City Hall for the Transportation Infrastructure Advisory meeting at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And she takes Dollar Ride.
Okay, is she just decide that she's not with us anymore and she doesn't want to join us?
She never said.
She never said?
She never said. Actually, it's time for us to do a quarterly breakfast. So next time we have breakfast, if she's not here, then I'll update you
Tell her
guys.
we asked about her, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So we
guess
go
I
to
could reach out
breakfast
to her some way as well.
every 2 months.
Stuck in a
Yeah.
Let the minutes reflect, we asked about you.
Okay, thank you.
So, thank you. Do you have any other questions or comments on the item 9? Not, we'll move on to item number 10, update on long-range transportation plan. Tom?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple items for you. Our last full operations immersion session, that I call it, with our consultants was on March 2nd, 3rd. They were here for two days. We spent almost 2 full days working on the operations plan to really kind of fine tune the route and service plan.
Nothing there. I'm sorry.
Let the
I'm
record
awfully
reflect
sorry. We
Hazel
had
just
a...
joined us.
Hi, Hazel. Welcome.
I had been on the bus an hour.
Again, well, you didn't miss the long-range plan talk
All
today.
right.
Why not?
At
Why?
You're here for it. You're right on time.
At least you got your money's worth.
All right, Tom.
Sorry, Tom.
It's okay. Anyway, March 2nd and 3rd, we had the consultants here. We worked for 2 days to refine our operations plan for the fixed route system. We're in the process right now of fine tuning that, putting the route and service plan into our bid structure. I'm gonna start working on that Friday morning with our operations staff to see where it all. Then we can start building the timetables to see what it looks like. One of the things that we kind of want to throw out to you, and I don't know if Ryan, we had a conversation,
Yeah.
if you'd reached out to the commissioners,
I
but
did. Mhm.
we'd like to have
We didn't
a
respond yet.
planning session, with the board to present the plan to you, the details of it, because we really haven't had a chance to give you, kind of start to finish, and then really get into the meat and potatoes of the service plan proposals, because we've got an opportunity to implement pieces of this as soon as this summer, and we'd really like to get going on it. So the sooner that we can get things to you, so that we can have some discussion as far as implementation, budget impacts, those types of things, I think it would be a good idea to do that. So I think Ryan had reached out to all of you.
I had a condition that there were no jokes involved. Because I'm not a big fan of April Fool's Day when people are like joking me, because I'm like one of the most gullible people in the world all the other days of the year.
So if we bring you the $100 million service plan, that would
Yeah, right. I said I would come if there were no jokes.
Yeah, everybody's confirmed. Just John. John is not here. He's out of town, so I'm pretty sure he'll be okay. And Rick, you said you're okay now.
Yeah,
So
I'm all right.
everybody's
Is it just
confirmed.
It's at 11 o'clock here?
11 o'clock. Yeah, that's the time that worked best for Dave. So I just met off for Dave's.
Works for me.
Yeah, and then Kurt said it was okay, and then
Yep.
Amy. So yeah,
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
It's in my thing with an exclamation.
Okay.
Is that just a closed meeting, or is that open to the public?
No, that would have to be an open meeting.
So then we'll just announce it as we would announce an open meeting and everyone.
Yeah, we would publish an agenda for it and publish it as a regular meeting. Yeah, we may have a couple other miscellaneous agenda items for you on that day.
Okay.
Maybe related to the long-range plan, and some organizational things that we'll bring to you, just that are timely,
April 1st.
so.
11 a.m.
11
Yeah, that'd be terrific. And so I'll see if, hopefully, I haven't reached out to Will, but I'd like at least Will Kelbs, our project manager from AECOM, to be here for that day too, to be part of the team to present. And I think probably be prepared to, we'll put some things on the screen, maybe get some handouts for you, but, it's gonna be pretty in-depth overview, and hopefully the outcome, we have some good discussion with all of you about, next steps and implementation. We weren't fortunate enough when we finished moving forward plan in 2010 to be able to really get into implementation, because we were in that recession time period, and we really weren't in a financial position to do a whole lot. So I'd like to think that maybe we're in a little better shape now to really be able to dig into this and get going and get some implementation done. And frankly, we have to. We've got some runtime issues on some routes we need to address. We've continued to kick that can down the road probably for too long. So it's a good opportunity to get some things implemented and boost ridership in the end.
Will Ryan get to work any quicker because of it?
Well, hopefully.
Yes,
not
he
phase
will.
one.
He will, but
Not in phase one.
Maybe phase
Eventually.
3.
Okay.
Eventually, yes. Yeah, we can't do it all at once.
Yeah.
We learned that from our 2 days of operations meetings.
Yeah.
We took 8 phases and compressed it into 4. So
Yeah.
Okay.
it's aggressive. And so when we have that meeting, we'll be able to lay that all out for you and spend some time talking about it. I don't have anything else.
April 1st.
Yeah.
Is there, we can decide, you said you're gonna have some action items on that meeting too.
Yeah, miscellaneous stuff. All dealing with the long range plan, but Am I saying that correct, Tom? All dealing with the long-range plan. Nothing like budget stuff as far as like stuff that you get here, but just budget relating to like the long-range plan, impacts, ridership, new routes, east side, west side, south side.
So you're not going to slip in any vague language that might
I'm just asking if there's an opportunity at that meeting, if there's not a necessity to have a meeting 2 weeks later that we have under our agenda here. If it's a light agenda.
Okay, just have one meeting that same day?
If you have a light agenda. If you have a larger agenda planned for 2 weeks later, it's just helpful to not have
2 meetings?
two meetings if it's not necessary.
Okay, so you're looking at April, I have a calendar.
Unless everyone wants to meet, I don't.
April
Well, I
19th.
think that it's good to get together for the regular scheduled meeting. It sounds like this is a special meeting.
Yeah, this would be a special meeting just dealing with the long-range plan, because being that, as Tom mentioned, we're kind of like moving aggressively, and as far as timeline, as far as schedule with the bids, operationally, and we have to have public hearings, and certain things that have to go in place in order for us to implement this August 21st. Because I think that's the day that St. Cloud State goes in session. That's the day that we're looking at, St. Cloud State's first day back in school, and then our schedule begins on that Sunday. So whatever that Sunday is prior to the first day of school, that's the day that we're looking at session. So if our union contract operators have to bid a certain amount of weeks in advance, and just everything as far as timing, we're looking at about maybe 8 weeks of just strictly long-range plan moving forward, so that everything is like timely, so to speak. So this is why we...
The reason I'm just asking is because you're obviously doing it on April 1st instead of a regular meeting because you want to do it earlier.
Well, as part of our timeline, yeah.
So otherwise you would have it at a regular meeting, my assumption would be. So if you're moving it up for that purpose,
Yeah.
why not, if there's not a large agenda item, for us to move this up? Because otherwise this would be a regular meeting that we would have under a regular meeting, have this discussion under a regular meeting.
Mhm.
I just don't, again, it's not,
Have 2 meetings.
to have meetings, just to have a meeting, it's still a public meeting, people still have the opportunity. Everybody's busy. schedules and-
Yeah, I just want to, but because everybody is busy, the staff is on a regular schedule for, like, the rest of the staff and their updates, and like, we won't be able to hear then from Debbie about the rider advisory, and we don't necessarily know what the staff might have on a regular rotation of things. I mean, so what if they don't make the decision now and they decide, and they see what they figure out leading up to April 1st, because maybe it is that we need to come then, and I'd forego the pay, if it's that for you.
No,
then.
no, I'm just, and that's the way I said it.
Okay.
If it's just gonna be a light agenda 2 weeks later, and you're just moving some things around, that's my opinion, I mean, the rest of you can weigh in, but if you're just gonna do that, why not just have, I'd rather be on the first here for an extra half hour or an hour versus coming on another meeting 2 weeks later to just move some things around that are administrative, if it's not necessary. I mean, we do, I don't know about your cities, but our cities, we cancel meetings all the time. If we're gonna have a light agenda, we can put it into a meeting prior to that. It's just not, there is a staff commitment too. Everybody's working, everybody's here at this meeting, when they could be out there serving customers and doing, so that piece of it's, if it can be done. If you've got something that's critical and you need more time, I don't have a problem under our regular schedule. I was just trying to say, at least from, if folks agree, if not, I mean, why have 2 meetings? Because we moved around this meeting many times.
Right.
I mean, to try to accommodate scheduling, so it's not like we have this absolutely every, whatever day
Third
this is.
Tuesday, yeah.
Well, we used to do first and third Tuesdays, so this would be similar to the old format.
Oh, so it used to be that on the?
Yeah, we used to meet twice a month, first and third Tuesdays, and then we
And
just...
besides that, you're just gonna, Amy's gonna be the only one here on the first anyways.
Yeah.
Ha ha, I got it.
There's gonna be a big sign on the door, April Fool.
I was like, what?
I'm just trying to build
Now you're
it
not
all up.
coming to the only meeting you want to have?
Well, that's... Mr. Chair, I guess a question for Paula. Are we okay with paying bills if we just have the one meeting on the 1st for April?
Yeah, I mean, we can, but then there's going to be a lot the following month.
You can think about it.
Yeah, think about how you want to do it.
If you need to have
Yeah,
a
it's,
meeting,
it's,
have
I
it.
just
Okay.
threw it
Yeah.
out there,
Okay.
as you're just
Yeah.
2 weeks away from a
Yeah.
meeting, so.
If there's enough.
So
You
I-
can meet every day if you want to.
I'm gonna leave them
Just
both
don't
on
think
my
it's-
calendar and wait for an update
Yeah.
from the finance, from Paula back here,
All right,
giving
well,
us the money.
we'll talk to staff and then.
So we're either looking at having one board meeting in April or having the 2 board meetings in April.
And you
I'll
decide
update
based
you
on the
guys.
workload you have, what you want
Right,
to do.
and I'll update you.
I
Okay.
just, you otherwise wouldn't have
Got it
thought
on
of the
my
option,
calendar,
we're just trying to
so
throw it
we-
out.
Yeah.
Good go.
I'm keeping
All
it
right.
on the calendar.
Any other discussion on the long-range plan? Okay, new business resolution, item number 11, 2016-01, section 5307, authorizing. What we got there, whatever that is.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. The 5307 authorizing resolution is just the annual resolution that we need approved to get our FTA funds, our annual FTA funds. This is just kind of one of the first steps that we need to do that.
Move to approve.
Is a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That resolution is passed. Item 12, the authorizing of the to replace and install maintenance hoist in operation in the operations facility.
Commissioners, this hoist system, we've got 4 hoists when we put in that new shop edition 10 years ago now, and they've been really tough to maintain. They just haven't, almost since new one, we've been we probably haven't had a week go by that we've had all 4 hoists working. Currently, we've got 2 hoists that are down entirely. One of them needs a brand new cylinder, which is $12,000 on it, just on that one. The second one went down since then. Just to repair that cylinder is over $5,000, so we decided it's time to start replacing these hoists one at a time. A company called Sturgill Coney would furnish us with this replacement hoist. It's a whole different design hoist. It's a scissors type hoist, a lot simpler mechanism, a lot more robust, and it only goes into the pit about 34 inches compared to these going down 6 feet, which gets us down to that water table, which has been part of our problems there. You get a lot of moisture working up onto those cylinders and a lot of deterioration going on. So my recommendation is to start replacing them one at a time. That's what this resolution is for in this case here. If anyone wants any more detail on that hoist, I can certainly be glad to furnish that on a replacement hoist. It's a pretty impressive hoist compared to the ones we currently have. A lot simpler mechanism, a lot more reliable from what we can. Went down to Big or Elk River, I should say, where the county or the city garage has one installed there. They've had it for 4 years now, and they haven't had a problem one hoist, 0 maintenance so far. So I think it'd be a good time to start the plan on just replacing one at a time as we can go along here.
Is there any advantage just the portable ones, you know, they push them around here to there and?
We have a set of those portable ones right now because of that one place that I mentioned that we couldn't keep in operation any longer. It's a good system, but it has its limitations. You hook underneath the wheels, so you can't do a brake job with it.
Yeah.
Or even our normal inspection where we have to have the wheels free for turning and checking wheel bearings, etc. So they're a good hoist, but again, they're very limited on what you can do with them. You can do a brake job with them, but then you have to put this beam across underneath the bus and lift it up one end at a time. So we'll continue to use that, those 4 portable ones we have for what we're intended to use, but for general ongoing maintenance, the in-floor hoist is still what you need to have for the overall maintenance. So,
Mr. Chair? Ed, how long does it take to get in? How long will it take to get it ordered and get it installed?
to get it installed, they're telling me about 2 to 3 weeks once they get going.
Really?
They're currently, the hoist itself is on a state bid, so that's a set price, but
Okay.
construction part of it, they're going for bids on that. They're getting 3 bids from the various contractors. See, we have in-floor heat there too, so they have to replumb that. That's going to be cut out for that new pit. They have to replumb that, so there's plumbers involved here, cement contractors and excavating contractors, so they're in the process of getting those bids pulled together right now. Once that's all together and we can get that in place, then they're telling me about 2 to 3 weeks for the actual install, so not too bad. I didn't want to start it until the weather got warm enough, because obviously we're gonna have a lot of door opening going on during the install time, and so we're hoping that maybe June 1st timeframe to get started on it, if it works out that way, so.
Is there a motion to approve?
Move.
Second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion prevails.
Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution item number 13.
Excuse me, I just have a question.
Yep.
You didn't just vote and it prevailed, did you like not favor it, or did you're in
I
not?
voted. I
Oh,
voted.
you voted by, oh, I didn't hear you say anything.
Yeah, I
No
never-
vote is
A no vote is a positive vote?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez,
Yeah,
okay, so
I
that's,
don't
I'm
ever-
learning something
I don't-
new every day.
Yeah, the chair
So I
never-
can just sit here, oh, the chair.
Chair votes. and
No, you're
it's all
right.
mine.
If nobody
It's
says
like-
anything on a motion, it goes, and
Yeah.
it'll go 4-0.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, chair never verbally.
You looking at Kurt?
No, the chair never,
Oh.
just asking. 'cause
Oh,
the chair
you were
wanted the
asking
meeting,
him,
but
I'm like,
never-
wait a minute, I thought I asked you the question.
Yeah.
Give me your
Well,
eye.
because he's shaking his head, so. I-
Okay, all right, I don't have the eyes in the back of mine, so,
Yeah.
thank you. Now I learned something new.
All right.
Someday you'll be a governor. And you know,
I swear to you, I never will be.
Authorization to purchase class 400 CNG low floor paratransit vehicles.
These are to replace aging fleet again. Here we have 8 of these. 2 of them are Turtle Top brands. Those are 07s, and then we have 6 more of the Eldorados that are 08s. So we're looking, and these are all 5-year buses, by the way. We're going on 8 and 9 years on these buses also. It is simply time to replace them. They're well beyond their replacement, normal replacement. I mean, we've kept them going for 3-4 years past normal 5-year lifespan on them, so that's really where that's at. We have 6 of them, of course, that are currently in production right now at the factory, and these 2 are additional ones to replace the balance of those 8 that are way beyond the replacement. There's 8 of them in that group there that, like I said, 2 of them are 07s, the other 6 are 08s.
And keep in mind that we're not going to get these buses right now. As I mentioned, we already have buses on order. MnDOT just asked us to authorize it ahead of time because MnDOT's process is so lengthy. So we just, having this resolution authorized now, so that way when we are ready to purchase the buses, whether it might be August or September of this year, we already have it authorized, ready to go, just because of MnDOT's lengthy process.
then there's money in the budget.
Correct.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Dave, what do you-
Motion passes unanimously.
I thought it was like, oh my God, just
Thank you again.
All right, thanks. Item number 14, consideration of proposed program of projects.
Commissioners, again, this is just kind of a standard annual thing that we have to bring forward. We have to publish it through April 30th, looking for public comment, and if we have none, then we would just move that forward to the FTA's website for our application for the 2016 funding.
Move to approve.
Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Open discussion. I've got some folks on the list here. Let's see. Beth in the back there. I do see you back there. All right, I got the order of the way the list is here. Beth?
I'm sorry that I got here a little bit late. I tried to get here earlier, but I just got out there and the bus had already left. I had to take a cab over here, but what happened is I wanted to see if there's a possibility of having the buses go as far as Northland Bible Baptist Church on County Road 8. Because I know you did say earlier that it's in the Haven Township. I think that's what you told me this morning. But there's sometimes that I'm not able to get there people aren't able to pick me up because they've got other things going on Wednesday evenings. They can get me home, but they can't always pick me up.
All right.
Is it true? Haven Township, it's not our township, correct?
Well, if it's not in the city, we wouldn't be able to serve
Serve
it.
it.
That's what
It's not-
that's just
I'd have to look up on a map.
You see exactly where it is. Yes. Haven Township, that's,
North
you know,
of
south.
Bible Baptist, it's on County Road 8, I believe it's in the township.
Think so.
It's not part of the city of St. Paul.
I think it is.
It's under an early annexation at some point.
Yeah.
Part of the city, but it's not part of, it's not urban.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody gonna tell her?
Huh?
Can you want to tell her that?
Do we want?
Oh, I'm sorry. Beth, we will look into that, but as of right now, just, you know, thinking out loud, Haven Township is not part of our service area. So we'll just do an investigation just to see exactly where the points lie, and then we'll get back to you.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Anything else, Beth, you have that you want to?
You want to talk about your experience you experienced on Monday, the North Star Lake?
Yes, I had a great experience yesterday. Came over to I went to on the lake bus and took the North Star train down to the Twin Cities, down to Fridley actually, because I was going to visit a friend in New Brighton. I was glad to see you there, Ryan. I remember you came over and were helping me. I recognized you right away. And so I thank you for the help that you gave me.
Yeah.
And I was able to get there and back okay, but I had a little bit of trouble with Metro Mobility. When I got there, I found out I had accidentally canceled the Metro Mobility rides when I meant to cancel a couple of other rides instead. And I guess I have to maybe talk to someone about that, see what I have to go through. But it was a good experience though, on the bus and the train.
Okay.
Well, thanks,
Good to
Beth.
hear.
Gail?
I'm still curious about the MP3 files for the meetings. I haven't looked at the website for a while, so I probably haven't looked there. But I still think that would be a good idea. So if I wanted to review it, or if I wasn't able to come, if there was a special link, and and then it would have like the date and the month of the meeting, and it wouldn't, audio or video, but both if possible, but audio especially, and then I'd be able to listen to it and still know what's going on. Or if I come late and miss some of it for some reason because of dial right or something, it would be great to be able to listen to those.
Well, we have the video on our website now from last meeting, and currently we have the recording that's actually right here in front of Mr. Kurt Hunsinger that's being recorded, and then that will be uploaded to the website once we go through the edit process, and we have the link available for you.
Is there a special link that I'd have to go to? Because the way I navigate the website is I don't tab that much. I go up, I use the screen reader, of course, with the computer, and I go up and down arrow. Is there a special word or a link or something? Does it say that specifically?
This is Berta, and we spoke on the phone before.
Oh yeah, I kind of recognize your voice. But
yeah, do you remember where I told you we're a board meeting page?
I'd have to tab through.
Under About Us. That's where it'll be located. When you read when the screen reader reads that page, it'll say listen to our board. I'll have it say listen to our board meeting, or click here to listen to our board meeting.
Okay,
So
I'll
then you
have
can
to
click
check
to
that out again, because some things just appear to be, and maybe it's me because I'm not looking hard enough, but some things may appear to be kind of hidden.
Yeah, and we are working on updating our website. We just sent out the RFP. We'll be getting some proposals.
And I appreciate talking to you that time when you called me back so
Yeah.
promptly about
Yeah,
this.
so-
And I have your email address.
All right.
we
And
can
when the
keep in touch.
audio is posted, I'll send you an email. Would
Sounds-
you like that?
Sounds wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you so very much.
You just have a link right to it.
Yeah, I'll send her the link and then she'll know where.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Regarding the audio, while I was at the last meeting, and I read in the minutes from the last meeting that we agreed in our open discussion that we would be figuring out a way to minimally audio tape things. I guess I should have figured that that meant that somewhere in this room we were going to be being taped, but I really hope that there's a really great editing process, because even though I kicked and screamed at my meeting last night, I didn't know I was being recorded today. You know, like, I guess I should have figured it out, but
Yeah, it was
nobody
recorded,
said,
so.
it's happening and there's the recorder. I
But
thought we
I
were
saw
still
it.
going with her little foggy thing, and so Berta,
That's still the same, I mean, it's still being
Taking the
recorded.
same information.
It's same information.
I know it's still, but no, I edit myself when I know I'm being recorded. Oh my gosh,
But you
okay,
always
well, I hope
record it.
it's really good listening for everybody who cares enough to find it on the website.
It's a public meeting.
I mean, every meeting.
I know it is, but it was, but it was.
We just have a newer piece of equipment to record the meetings.
Yeah, but the meetings that were being recorded weren't being posted on the website previously, right? So you're telling me that this meeting today is going to be posted? Okay, right, so that's my point. That's
After it's
all I'm
edited,
saying.
After
It's edited, I know, that's why I was just clarifying that somebody was gonna be.
I need to just make sure from
Hear it and not have
from
to
the board's
listen to all the
perspective,
but
editing,
minimal.
and for anyone listening, editing just.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they're gonna take out me.
You're not cutting anything out of the meeting.
Right.
It's exactly the way it is. It's a public meeting, so everything in it.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That sounds good.
Yes, isn't that great? I'm gonna be sure to listen to this one.
I'll do my best to find.
Wait till
some
next
version
meeting.
or something to send with me. That would be wonderful. Thanks.
Thank you, thank you, Gil.
Whole new meaning.
Kim?
Thanks for, some of the commission members are riding the bus and some are planning on doing it, so thanks for all the people who have either ridden, fixed, or dial-a-ride, or are planning to do that. And then I have a wild idea. Is there some time this year that the board could maybe check out the dispatch center and just see how it's run? Just kind of like shadowing. And then one thing that I've been waiting to bring up, I didn't want to bring it up when it first happened, I wanted to see how it would work out. There was a major change in the dispatch center. A major senior dispatcher had moved on to another position. And you know, the computers are a guide. You type in the time that's requested and you get a general concept, but people there, they kind of tweak things and see which is the best bus to put people on. Since that major staff change about the last 2 months, the schedule has seemed to be really tight, and a lot of people are complaining to me that it's just not the same. The quality of service has dropped significantly. Many different people seem to be very stressed, including the riders, and I'm just wondering if there could be some additional training given to the dispatchers on how to, you know, when any major senior person leaves a position, yeah, there's a gap, but after 2 months, I'm just wondering if there can be some training to help the dispatchers to make that scheduling more smooth, because a lot of people are noticing the impact.
Well, let's clarify first, Ms. Petman, that the senior dispatcher, she's still a dispatcher. She just went to a different location within Metrobus. So she's still performing her duties as a dispatcher at another location. So she didn't move on to a different position. They're union employees, they have their bids, and per their contract, they're allowed to pick different schedules that work best for them. So let me clarify that. As far as the training, all of our dispatchers are trained on how to utilize our equipment, our technology, and our services.
Can I just respond to that? There has been a very significant difference the last 2 months, and I'm wondering if the bus company can take some action to improve it, because many people are noticing the difference and it's impacting many people.
When you say many people, exactly, what's the impact when you say
The
as far as
impact
scheduling?
is the schedules are so tight, the drivers are much more stressed, the passengers are more stressed. I can hear the stress in the dispatcher's voice. It's a very clear, major change. And so many people are feeling the stress, and it's kind of snowballing. The schedules are so tight.
When you say so tight, give me an example, because you're saying that they're stressed. That's your opinion that the drivers are stressed, and that's your opinion.
People are coming to me, passengers.
But why are they coming to you instead of coming to Metrobus and bringing it to our
Because
attention?
sometimes people don't feel that they are being heard by the bus company.
Okay.
So, I'm just saying, please look into this and please make the changes that are necessary to improve this, because it has been a major change within the last 2 months.
We keep saying major change. The drivers, our dispatchers pick their schedule. Yes, we have current employees that shifted from the transit center to the call center. Yes, we have a shift in employees based on their schedule. They pick the schedule to work in the transit center, or they pick to work in the call center. Yes, all of our employees are trained to utilize the schedules. We have customer service training, we have refresher training, and our dispatchers go through that refresher training. As far as the schedules are being tight, I will look into that to see your definition of tight may not be our definition of tight. It's just because the bus might come at 9:05 versus 9 o'clock, and to say a driver's stressed, we don't know that the drivers are stressed. We have our schedules, we accommodate our customers, we accommodate our trips, and we try to do it as efficiently as we possibly can. So once again, all of our employees are trained to utilize the services that we provide to the rider public. I would look into it and see if there's anything different since the last schedule pick that occurred 2 months ago. But as of right now, all of our dispatchers are trained to use our systems efficiently and effectively.
Maybe, and just if you're gonna look into it, I think that's great, and give us a report back, and certainly take the suggestion if folks want to have that opportunity. Commissioners always have the opportunity to tour and ride and be part of that, but is it also maybe a good idea, you have the advisory board, that's the purpose of them, is to get feedback. Maybe it's just something you want to throw out as a topic. As you know, I'm hoping that's the way you get feedback, other than and I don't know if when was the last time done like a survey of passengers? I remember recalling the past you've done some type of survey, this raises a whole different issue to me, just about customer satisfaction. How or I don't know if it's done online or just doing it. I remember that we've had those in the past, but when's the last time there's been?
We've done surveys for the long-range plan last
Last year,
past
actually.
year.
Yeah, last year we done assessment
Commissioners,
surveys.
I'd like to clarify one thing is there's only 2 dispatchers involved in the shift change. So it's not the wholesale, it's just there's 2 staff that switch positions. Again, it's part of the bidding system. They can bid their work. When there's open work, based on seniority, they bid their work. Those dispatchers can be plugged into transit center or the call center universally, and that's quite common. Our part-time dispatchers work at both places. They're trained to work at both places. Our full-time dispatchers typically will bid their work either downtown transit center or at the call center, and they become proficient in their particular tasks at each individual place that they're assigned their work. We ask them to schedule for efficiency. So sometimes schedules do feel tight because you maximize the amount of rides you can get out of an hour of service. If we didn't, we'd be asking you for 10 more buses a year for drivers to sit around and wait for the phone to ring. So again, there's a balance, and sometimes the balance gets where it gets a little snug depending on the calls that come in. But for the most part, on average, our schedules are pretty efficient out there for systems our size. And I give our dispatchers a lot of credit for being able to maximize getting those trips booked, to maximize the use of our resources. So, again, there's probably days, where things probably a little snugger. You get a few more rides that we have to squeeze in there, medical returns and things. That's not uncommon. I would promote the idea that if a customer is having an issue, that they call us, let us know. That's the most effective way that we can help customers.
Well, that's why I referred to the advisory committee. I mean, that's kind of your feedback and your opportunity to do that if there's something that brought to your attention.
Excuse me.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I just, I'm a little bit kind of not knowing how to say it most eloquently, but what just happened for me was I heard a customer say they weren't satisfied. And I don't know, I sold shoes for a long time, did a lot of returns on shoes, and I'm old-fashioned maybe, in that you function from the place of the customer's always right. And you start by acknowledging that they, you acknowledge her life has been impacted. And so to me, I'm a little bit concerned, I think, in how we've responded, because it would be a lot easier to say, thank you for bringing it to our attention. Well, we've heard that this is a service issue that you have and that other people also are communicating it. Please ask them to call us so we can document it, and we'll look into what's happened and how that employee could possibly, but yes, what Tom says, we're trying to make make the best use of our time, and sometimes it's like that. Thanks for your input, but not, I just kind of am having I go with the customer's always right. So you say, thank you, we want to try to make our service better for you, but to me, responding by, it just seemed I don't know, it's ironic because of course I'm, somebody who's typically inflamed, and I don't think that, but yet as from the customer's always right perspective, the goal is to not inflame the situation. So then you have to be careful how you respond to not inflame the situation. And so I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, I think, Kim, when you get those, you need to tell those people to call here, because
They do all the time.
you're not their spokesperson. So to be real honest with you, their opinions are very valuable, but unless we get them from them, they don't mean much. I don't mean to degrade that, but that's really where they need to come from. They really need to call here.
Or you could bring along a little thing, and when they ask you a question, say, sign here and tell me. And sign here and tell me, like sort of a petition thing, because then it is it makes it harder for someone to say, well, who are all these people? And so, it's just a suggestion in terms of how for you as an advocate who people do see as a spokesperson, because not everyone feels that they're empowered to speak because of whatever it is that they carry in their little Pandora's box.
And there's, and I'm assuming there's an avenue for people to email or give a suggestion, whether it's, I know there is.
Customer service.
Customer service, if they can do it anonymously, they can do it, so there is that avenue, and I think we need to just, stress that importance. I think it's important. That's why one of the reasons we have people that have a chance to bring things up. But as a commissioner, I appreciate having an explanation to it and still have a follow-up. I don't think that's in any way inflammatory. I think it's good. I'm at a board meeting, and this is as a board member, I want to hear an explanation, and I want to see, there's some opportunity for some follow-up. But I think it's done I felt it was done in a very respectful manner, so
I didn't imply in any way that it was disrespectful. I guess just a different style, perhaps, that I wasn't comfortable with.
And I would go back, I would not do it anonymously. I don't take anything I get at City Hall as a mayor anonymously with any credit. None. If I get a letter and it's not signed, it means absolutely nothing to me. Because I can't respond to it. I don't know who to call. I don't know who. I can't even give you an answer because I don't know who it is. So I would highly recommend they're not anonymous.
And each of us have our own. I just like that option because a lot of people may feel uncomfortable. You may have an employee or a customer that, again, it's up to. It's better if you can put your name to it so you can have a dialogue between it. Yeah. But I think when we get anything, the city that raises a concern, whether it's signed or not, we investigate the concern, because to ignore somebody's question, whether it's a little tougher third person, when you're saying people have, it's helpful even if somebody brings something and say, I got this from somebody, to look into it. But I don't think we should ever ignore that piece of it. But we have this, I think it's a good option for people to have the ability online to write suggestions. We all do surveys, and that's hundreds of people being anonymous, thousands in some cases. So I'd like to be able. You should investigate whatever people are suggesting we investigate. And I don't think you're not doing that. I mean, that's an important piece, but I like the idea we created advisory committees so some of those things can, if there's a concern, I think it's an idea that they can bring, it can go to them and bring suggestions to us too.
I think it's my view of the room, but I just want to clarify with Debbie about the advisory board and how you see it functioning with regards to what Mayor Kleiss is recommending. Because I'm seeing your looks of confusion and I'm not sure, so I just thought maybe you wanted to weigh in on what that is. So.
Well, we do have 8 members on the Rider Advisory Committee, and they're out in the public, and they wear a badge to identify themselves. But we have really talked and trained them to take the input, but they by no means are decision makers or a wealth of the knowledge or information. So they themselves would probably refer an individual to our customer service. I think that if there's a complaint or a change or a good thing that's going on in the community, what happens a lot of times with the riders is that we don't have enough specifics. So if an individual can call in and give those specifics on time and day, then staff can investigate that. But when it's general, you just, you can't generalize because you can't get to the bottom of it. So I don't know if the Rider Advisory Committee would be the best avenue to encourage people to go to with problems. I feel that our customer service is what should be handling that.
When I'm talking, do you have advisory committee meetings though? And what are they talking about?
They do bring issues. They do.
Yeah, that's what I'm
yes,
thinking. Bringing
they
issues
do.
and having a venue for them to be talked about.
Yeah.
That then you can bring to us, or
yeah.
I'm using it in that respect. I'm not saying the advisory committee should go out and investigate. It's a sound. We all have advisory committees in almost everything we do, and they give advice to. The purpose of it is to give advice to the organization and to the board. So if that's not the full function, it'd be nice to have that be the function because it's implied in the title, advisory. So somehow they're going to need to be advising the group.
They would advise an individual to go to customer service if they had a complaint.
I'm talking more in the group that when you come together on a regular basis to talk about challenges or issues or what might be involved. Maybe I'm not understanding the
right, and they brought
role
3 issues today, and
Yep.
then we take them to the appropriate departments to find an answer to that. Behind the driver poster right now, there's a rider advisory email that people can email questions or concerns. So there's a lot of opportunity for input in our community to have their people's voices heard.
But I think from what I'm hearing from Mayor Kleiss, more so utilize the 8 members that we have in this Riders Advisory Committee. So if we do get the complaints, have them work with us to come up with solutions. I know we have the problem, we have the solution, we bring it to the board, bring it to the appropriate department. When we have our board meetings, we can say, well, we had these 3 complaints during the last month that was brought up at the Riders Advisory Committee. This is the solution, this is how we went about fixing the problem. Am I on the right track?
Yeah, if I'm riding and I've got an issue, and one of the avenues is to give that information to the advisory committee. If you even have an email, you just answered my question because if I'm riding, I'm going to email them. So obviously they're a group that I would go to.
Right.
So that's why I suggested at the beginning, the advisory committee would be that group. They can then refer to where it needs to be investigated, where it needs to be solved. But that's an avenue. That's a citizen group of people that people often would sometimes feel more comfortable expressing a concern to, and that's why you'd have advisory committees. Right. So then they can also, I would assume, have the ability to make recommendations if there's something that's, that's more of a system issue that might be something beyond what they're or they just keep bringing the same thing and there nothing ever changes. I'm hoping that the advisory committee would say, wait a minute, these seem to be a recurring pattern of something that's an issue that's not being addressed. And then you bring them to us. It's obviously, if you've got an email on a bus that says, contact the advisory committee, that they're that's basically what I had asked.
Mr. Chair?
Yep.
I was going to just respond more specifically to Kim, what you brought up. I would agree with, I'm not sure who said it, but dates, times, that type of thing, so we can quantify it, if you will.
Can I explain why I was holding back? Maybe if I just say the whole group, they won't all get in trouble. But I can't reveal the amount of people and the number of people that have told me because I have to protect them. One of the reasons that I encourage people to come to the board meetings is that over the last 3 years, I have personally experienced a large amount of people, including employees, have not felt that their concerns were addressed properly by the bus company. And by bringing it to the board, it puts it more under the light. And I want to the reason I was raising my hand was about the customer service. There has also been a major change in that too. You used to be able to call one customer service person who had special training, and you could give your information to them, your contact information, so you weren't anonymous. And now they've taken that away, and there's many different people to talk to about customer service. So sometimes if you have a complaint about a dispatcher, you have to actually tell that very dispatcher your customer service complaint. That's not really fair to the customers. So I'm asking that it go back to the old way, or a modified old way, where a person could go to a dedicated customer service person and make whatever complaint it was, or compliment, and yes, I do both, and then that person who has that special position can take it from there, and it's not anonymous. People would feel more comfortable doing that.
But it won't be a special position. The person who would be handling the customer complaints would be a dispatcher, whether it's the dispatcher in the call center or dispatcher in the transit center. We're looking at having one person, yes, we're looking at having one person that will handle the complaints and route it to the appropriate department. But as of right now, our dispatchers are trained to receive the inbound complaints right now in the call center. But we are looking at having one person responsible to handle the complaints, and that would dish it out to whether it's the operations department, if it's a transit center department, or whoever the complaint is against, fixed route that right, that complaint will be routed to the appropriate department. So we are looking at having that one person. We are looking at having that one person handle or route all the customer complaints.
Okay, that's. I mean, there's lots of them. Obviously, you said that. There's the advisory board. There's this meeting. There's lots of avenues where people, I just want to make sure people are very comfortable that if there's an issue, bring it to the board. I mean, or in any of those avenues to expedite. I don't make sure that there's in no way any indication that you can't bring an issue up. You can bring up the issue in any form you do. I mean, it's the way all of our cities operate. There's folks that go directly to members of the council, administration, or to departments. Things that are day-to-day, though, I would assume you can call the dispatcher to have somebody that actually can deal with the problem and solve it right away. Our board, we don't meet even once a month here. Right. So, and I say this many times, when there are issues that, as a board member myself, I don't want to address those things unless it's addressed here in a public meeting as a board member. That's why in the staff aspects, that's why we hire professionals to operate and bring that information to us.
For the most part, we handle our complaints. Most of the complaints are handled within 1 to 2 days, but some of the complaints might require a lengthy investigation. You might have to pull video, watch the video if it's like fresh damage on a bus, or if a bus left a patron at the bus stop. No, we have to go pull the video. Say if Kurt calls today and say the bus left me yesterday at 5 o'clock, if that bus is on the street, we have to wait till the bus gets in at the end of the shift. We wait for the video to download, and then pull the tape. So that might take 24 hours lag time. And then based on the based on the case or the occurrence rather, then we could appropriate discipline if discipline is warranted, or we can further finalize our investigation. So some complaints will take longer than others just based on the nature of the occurrence.
So are we going to investigate why Beth missed the bus today?
Reverend Beth missed the bus?
Isn't that right? Didn't
Yeah, it was, I ended up, I came out, I think it could have even been about 3:21 this afternoon, and I should have come out a little sooner.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. But
Okay, I thought it was that bus. I just say that I think that if you have a complaint, and I think in customer service, it's a special person that can do customer service, and I don't think that just anybody who happens to be employed that has the job of this, that, or the other thing. I don't know that Ed would want to take calls, customer service complaints, because he's near a phone.
He just left because.
I know.
Suggestions.
Right, but so the point is that typically a customer service is, a person is, they are dedicated to serving just to the customers. Like, let's say, for instance, I had a complaint about somebody that I was working with. Let's say at Sartell City Hall, for instance, and let's just say that I had a complaint and there's a personnel committee, but one of my things I'm complaining about is a person sitting on the personnel committee. You think I'm gonna go in the room and say, I have a problem with that's, it's not how it works. Usually usually in that situation, if an employee had a problem with the chief isn't at the personnel committee, sitting in the room, listening to the employee talk about, I'm having a problem with the chief. I'm making all this up, right? Of course, because if you know Jim Hughes, you'd know that I'm making all this up. But the point is that you wouldn't have the chief in the room for the first go round of the employee making, so why would we have a dispatcher answering a calls for customer service? That seems totally bizarre to me, because it seems like a customer service person is usually somebody whose job is to deal with the customers, not dispatch and then try to, I wouldn't want to call and say I have a problem with you. I probably would, though.
Keep in mind, though, that we don't have actually customer service positions here. We have dispatchers, and our dispatchers actually, for example, the dispatchers that work at the transit center, for example, they deal with the customers face-to-face. They come to the window, they have questions, they buy tickets, whether it's Jefferson Lines or Metrobus passes. And then the dispatchers here that work in the call center mostly deal with the customers over the phone who are calling, scheduling trips for dollar ride or anything dealing with the paratransit side. So we have dispatchers who go serve both functions. Either work at the transit center where they deal with customers face-to-face, or they deal with the they work in the call center and deal with the customers who call in over the phone.
So in addition to dispatching, they're doing customer service. Right. That's what I'm hearing.
So we're looking at taking one person and having that person be the lead for to handle all customer inbound calls and handle whether it's coming versus call versus email. We're looking at having one person who's going to handle that.
So we are looking at having somebody to just do customer service.
In addition to dispatching.
Oh, right.
Right.
But so then dispatchers will no longer be taking the customer service calls when we
Right, that's what I mentioned earlier. That we're going to have one person
well,
handle
that's exciting.
Customer service calls.
Is that a new budget line then? Are we
It's the same dispatcher, so it's the same. No, we're not creating an extra position. We're just looking at having one dispatcher handle all customer calls, whether they come via email or whether they come phone calls.
But then that's still the same situation, that if there's 17 people who have a problem with that one dispatcher, and that one dispatcher is the dedicated customer service person.
Right. Well, this person will be like the lead. Well, we have a lead dispatcher now, so this lead dispatcher is the person that we're looking at having, in addition to taking calls to handle our customer service calls.
Okay.
So we don't have a new position, or we don't have a customer service department. Traditionally, before I arrived, the dispatchers will handle the calls, or even if I was here, the dispatchers will handle the calls. We used to have one person, and then just looking at rearranging things so we could operate more efficiently. We had one person do scheduling, one person do a lead dispatcher that works transit center and call center. So now we're looking at reversing the roles and having the person here actually handle the calls for dispatch, or for the customer complaints rather. Trying to be efficient with the funds that we have here. That's the bottom line at the end of the day.
Hazel, you raised your hand up.
Yeah, where are we getting the new dollarized buses so we could get rid of these lift ones?
Actually, one bus as of last week was going on the production line in Michigan. Champion is the actual manufacturer of the buses. So last week the first bus went down the production line. So once that process is complete, we have to actually send it to Indiana to do the CNG installation. Once that part is complete, then we have to go through another quality control inspection. So if everything goes according to plan, the first bus should be here, I want to say, within 60 to 90 days. Don't quote me on that, but as of right now, the one bus did go down the production line. I mean, things will come up as we speak. Ed and Jerry actually went to Michigan yesterday, and they were able, not yesterday, last week, Wednesday rather, and they were able to see the bus go down the production line. And we had some, small changes that we had to make as far as seatbelt extensioners, the way seats were positioned, things of that nature. So it's a lengthy process, but the buses are being made as we speak. Let's put it that way. So to be continued. It's coming. It's coming. I know you don't like the potholes and the bumpiness going down.
Oh, it hurts.
Yeah.
My back is.
Yeah, we're working on it. Yeah, the buses, like I said, one bus is going on the production line as we speak.
Any other comments or under open discussion, anything?
Move to adjourn.
All right, there's a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed, passes unanimously.